There we are. Yep.
Vintage stuff.
Collector's items. When I come over, Randy, I'll bring you a set. I'll send you a set, Russ.
More than welcome to. I keep promising Russ a big package. I just haven't sent him a collection yet.
Oh,
not that kind of. Hey, too early in the morning for that kind of stuff. Yeah. Come on in, folks. We see you out there.
Ring. Whatever you say.
All right. Can you pet that dog?
We know what this is.
You cannot pet that dog.
No.
That's right.
Pet that dog.
I pet that dog. I love her. She's amazing. Anyway.
What, the dog or the girl?
The girl.
You cannot pet that dog.
No.
Cannot pet that dog.
No.
Cannot pet that dog.
No, he's
Cannot pet that dog.
She gets to pet it twice, wouldn't she?
Yeah. Well, maybe if she's still got a hand after the first time. She reminds me so much of my granddaughter. It's not even funny. Come on in, folks. It's time for Comics by Night. We're glad you're here. The chat is open and live. We're actually back up. We had a little StreamYard problem on Sunday, so we didn't have a Sunday Funnies, but we'll pick that up this Sunday with Mars Patrol. So we're sorry if you were expecting us and we didn't show up. Suddenly, StreamYard decided to do a security check, and everybody had to be awake at the right time in order to get everybody back up on the air. So,
yeah, everything works when people are awake.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the clue.
It is.
Be awake.
All right, folks, here we go. Here's the opening. Let's get this show on the road. Got a great.
What was that? This is not a charade. We need total concentration. Now, once again, this time with the...
Hey there, this book is copywritten in 1982. 1980, printed in 88. Copywritten in 82, folks. We're going to look at the INCAL, start looking at the INCAL. What a classic, iconic bit of sequential art there. One of the biggest. So one of the best. I'm your host, Randy Zimmerman. You can find my work over at Arrow Comics. You can look me up on Amazon. You can try to find me wherever. And been doing comics for many, many, many decades. Tales from the Universe, Spank the Monkey. And now we're doing the Atlantean. I'm writing the Atlantean that Russ is drawing. It's a great product. One that we're both extremely proud of. And we can't wait for you to read and hope that you got in on that campaign. And if you didn't, there'll be plenty of other campaigns. Plus, it's available in retail right now over on Amazon as well. It's a continuation from the Shadow Kingdom adaptation that we did that we're also incredibly proud of. I got that book real handy too.
You should be.
Right there. Nothing but, well, I can't say nothing but positive reviews. We did have a couple of people that wanted to troll, but
30, 40 years, you'll say, I still got copies. I don't want to hear it.
No. Well, I hope so. I hope I at least have one copy. So,
well, yeah. You got to keep file copy, right?
Yeah. Well, one or two. Yeah. Plus, you give them out.
Copy to prove I was there.
That's exactly right. Mark time. There we are. We're real glad you're here, folks. Also joining us this morning is Mr. Glenn Fleming. Glenn, introduce yourself, please.
Hi, everybody. My name's Glenn Fleming. I'm a writer, artist, and publisher. I've written 11 books, which are all available on Amazon, the varying subjects, science fiction, Kennedy assassination, children's books, all kinds of things. But relevant to this program is my book about Jack Kirby and my visits to his home in 1988 and 1991. You can get this on Amazon, and you can get it just everywhere. Get it from Barnes and Noble, and just key that in, and you'll find it. Also, I'm the creator of Hatch, and this is his book. This is on fundmycomic.com. It's got all kinds of artwork in it, some published, some unpublished, and you can see how he came to life and all that kind of thing. And I also publish this occasionally, Comics Unlimited, which is a 100-page magazine about comics. And previously, I used to publish these things, Crikey and Super Spies. You can find them all on Amazon. Check it out.
There we are.
What about that other Kirby book you had last week?
Yeah, just go to Amazon. You'll see loads of stuff. Just put my name in, you'll get it. Tons of stuff.
Hey, HR.
It's Glenn with 2 N's, Fleming with 2 or with 1 M. So
Yes.
go over there and take a look. Amazon. Also joining us this morning, Mr. Russ Leach. Russ, introduce yourself, please.
Good morning. I'm Russ Leach. I am a comic book artist from the UK. Currently working on the Atlantean series with Randy and also Charles Santino of Conan credits from Marvel. It's black and white. It's like the old Savage Sword of Conan book. We're on issue 2 right now. Issue 3 is being written, full-plotted. We're on a roll. We're quite pleased. Everybody's really happy with what they're getting. You can find out more about the Atlantean series, about my other series, Only Death Can Save Us, and other bits and pieces I've done, like Doctor Who, Batman, all that kind of stuff. You can go to my website and sign up for the email list there. And I send out a newsletter once a month-ish, or when there's something to tell you, so you don't fill your inbox up with rubbish. But at the moment, the most important thing is to find those retail links for the Atlantean issue 1. And the Atlantean issue 2 crowdfunder will be coming out in March. So watch this space, go to russleach.com, sign up for that email list, and hopefully we'll see you there.
Yes, there you are. Also joining us this morning, the Silver Fox himself, Rex. How you doing? Introduce yourself, please.
Rex Christian on YouTube every day. Getting ready to hit our 1,000th episode on the 22nd. Hope you guys can join us for the celebration. Jonas in the house. We got Powder 6480. We got HR. We got a crowd already at 4 a.m. in the morning. It's snowing. It's blizzard. We got my projects over on Indiegogo, the Devil Flower Ash Can, and then over on Fund My Comic. More importantly, we'll be redoing that campaign here pretty soon, breathing new life into it, putting it on the Iron Lung or life support, whatever it takes. Sell some more books.
It's snowing down where you are?
It is, yeah. It was. I checked about 12:30 to let the dog out, and it had already covered the ground. And yeah, I was expecting it because my sister lives in state, and she had already gotten some. So,
okay.
Yeah, I've got a friend in Tennessee says it's. He said something about snow, so he probably got it as well. So he's about 3-hour drive away, 2.5. And
It was cold,
like
California.
on the way to Nashville.
Yeah, amen to that.
What? Yeah.
And those poor guys
Gentlemen.
out there in California. Mixture of fire and politics. Destroying their
I don't know
lives.
what's happening over there, but I noticed on the map that Thousand Oaks was right in the center of it all. That's where Jack Kirby used to live.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So I tell you,
boy.
if those houses have gone, I can understand why on the news they said it was it $80 billion worth of damage?
At
80
least.
billion with a B.
Yep.
And all those
They're not
houses
gonna have-
where Jack lived were amazing. So
They're not going to have the final tally on that.
Glenn, is there a
Fires are
marker
up.
there at his old house or anything? Does the family still own that house,
no.
or do you know?
no, not as far as I know, but I did notice that when I did the Google Maps on it, that house is blurred out.
Huh.
So I don't know what
Wow.
that means, but that house is blurred out.
That's interesting.
That is kind of odd.
I would imagine it's been blurred out completely by God this week, but I hope not.
Probably if that neighborhood went up in flames.
It's right in the middle of the circle of the fire.
Oh, yeah. It's
So
a
I don't,
shame.
I don't know.
It's very sad.
It's
It
just
is.
incredible, isn't it? It's just
Incredibly tragic. Yeah.
It's without getting into the politics of it. It's sad. It's sad that those people have lost their lives. It's sad that people are losing their homes.
Yeah.
The there are people watching their pets die. It's just hideous, and you know there's no water in the fire hydrants.
No.
If this is any kind of wake up call to anybody out there, whatever your views on us all living together, for Christ's sake, just get people to do the job who could do the job. You know.
Yeah. Well, there's been a report today that there's another fire started, and I think it might have been arson.
Yeah. Well, that wouldn't surprise me. It's arson, but because it's not like it's boiling hot out there at the moment, is it?
They're starting to wonder if all of them aren't arson.
Yeah,
From what
but
I
it's
understand.
just like when it comes to looking after people, making things work, making sure people are safe. It's not about who's doing it. It's about what that person is capable of. Are they good enough for the job? Get the job done.
Yeah.
Stop with all the rubbish and just get the job done.
Absolutely.
Just my heart really goes out to those people.
HR in the house. Glad you're here, HR. Happy to see you. Jonas Olson in the house. He's there.
Hey, John.
Halder
Jonas
6480
from Sweden.
From Sweden. Great.
Mm-hmm.
Devil Flyer already leaving a link to his Fund My Comic campaign. It's right there in the chat. What?
I said Howder
Are you
left
there,
the
Rick?
link.
Oh,
My
okay.
mod.
Oh, yeah.
My friend.
Sorry, Halder.
Yes, I'm here.
Yep. That's fine. That's fine. No big deal. It's all good. Go over there and check out Devil Flyer. That's what we got to say. Halder, thumbs up. Yep. Comic book black belt leaves a Atlantean link. Svenskar HR. Okay. Glad you're here. We got a great book to look at. He's laughing at us. That's all right. I deserve to be laughed at. This early in the morning.
Yay. Oh. Sorry.
You're still at a delay.
Never
Rex.
mind.
That's funny. It's all good. The INCAL.
Yeah.
Jodorowski, Swedish, HR says.
I didn't get the joke at first.
Yeah. It's fine. My mouse doesn't want to cooperate this morning. Swedish.
Feed it
Jonas
some cheese.
Has an eye on us. It's all good. The INCAL. Jodorowski and Moebius here. Give me a sec to wipe up
comics.
Epic collection, yeah. From back in the 80s, 88, I believe. Let me run over to my Facebook page and get us live over there so that we have as much coverage as possible.
Facebook.
Yeah.
Facebook now with added truth.
No, they're just pulling back on some of their, they're just pulling back on some of their so-called guidelines, their propaganda bent stuff. So here we are. Actually able to say certain words again without them being banned. If only YouTube would come along and do the same thing, it'd be all good.
I mean, it all balances out. Our Labour government have currently decided they're going to call a fatwa on Musk. So,
Marvy.
Yeah, it's
Wonderful.
Great.
Jodorowski, I put to the top of creative masters. Huge influence on me, especially his movies. There you are. I've never sat through El Topo.
Which he was going to do Dune, right?
Yeah. It's all this all comes out of that.
The documentary on.
Go ahead, Rex. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, the documentary on him is what kind of introduced me to Jodorowski and his films.
Mm-hmm. There's a great Moebius illustration there.
See, when you when you say Moebius, this is what comes to mind.
Yeah.
This is what goes into your head.
Yeah.
Whereas we've seen a couple of books, especially the cowboy stuff,
Blueberry. Yep.
Blueberry, yeah, where it looks very sort of Western European. It's kind of got that Spanish Italian kind of feel to it. Big, some big brushwork, lovely detail, and it's like he's got multiple styles, which we know.
Mm-hmm.
But when you say Moebius to me, this is what I see. This kind of thing, rather than
that was really our first introduction to his work was heavy metal. Metal.
Didn't he do the Blueberry under Jean Giraud? So his style. Yeah, what I'm saying is that that was his style then, and like Russ said, he's changed his style for this. This is Moebius. Blueberry with Jean Giraud, even though it was the same person.
Yeah. It's weird, isn't it? Yeah.
I think
maybe he's trying to do that, kind of give himself a brand with different names.
Yeah,
exactly right. Yep, that's exactly what I was going to say. I think he called himself Moebius for this kind of material just for that reason.
The first time I remember being aware of the art and the name Moebius was when I saw the stuff for I saw the designs for Alien.
Yeah.
I'd probably seen his work prior to that in different places, but hadn't associated the name. So that's the first time I remember associating the name directly. And of course, those designs are like more akin to the image we just saw on the previous page. They kind of got that light line to them, lots of, bits and pieces going on. And, you could imagine that in an Alien movie. You could imagine that those clothes and stuff. But then you go to the Blueberry stuff and it's a whole different level. It's a whole different thing.
A whole different
personally,
feel
I prefer the Blueberry stuff, but all of it's just wonderful.
It is. It's just a completely different attitude, completely different level of professional work too. I mean, it's all professional work, but it's such a completely different style. I totally understand why he was using two names.
You could easily look at the two of them and go, they're two different artists.
Oh, very much so. Yeah,
very easily.
Absolutely.
That's hard to do and retain a level of brilliance in the way that he does.
Oh yeah. Yep.
I mean, that you look at those and you think, oh, they're two different artists.
Yeah. You see,
it's incredible.
I liken it to David Bowie. If you listen to his albums, they're all different. He does, pop and rock and soul music, and also he does all different kinds of things. I mean, I know his voice is more or less the same, but the work is different, and that's what I think it's fantastic what Jean Giraud has done here by, like we say, introducing his style on Blueberry, which is fantastic, and then he comes along and knocks that out of the park with his stuff.
What I find truly amazing about putting those two together is I think I can claim a little bit of that. If you look at my Only Death Can Save Us work compared to my Cull work, they're very different in their approach, but people can still see me in it. Whereas I look at those two and they seriously could be two completely different artists.
Yeah.
And that's just so impressive.
That's why we love looking at his stuff. Book 1, The Dark INCAL, Chapter 1, Crimson Circle Knights.
You can see, did you say this was copyrighted 1982?
Yeah.
Because I'm sure it's before that. Because I always...
Story and Art, 82, 83, 88.
Oh, right, okay.
Jodorowski and Moebius. The text here is copyright 1988.
Right.
by Star Watcher Graphics, printed by Epic Comics, which is a division of Marvel. I would assume in '88.
Right.
Here's the first of a lot of stunning pages here.
It was first published in 1980 in Metal Hurlant.
Okay.
So
Serialized, more than likely, yeah.
yeah. It says
John,
the INCAL includes and expands the concepts and artwork from the abandoned film project Dune, directed by Jodorowski and designed by Giraud, from the early 70s.
Okay.
What I'm getting at is I'm not trying to prove anybody right or wrong here. I'm just trying to get to the bottom of this, because I always thought that Mega City 1 from 2000 AD took its visuals from this work. But if this is 1982, that's 5 years after 2000 AD came out. So I'm not sure now, unless it didn't depict Mega City 1 like that until those artists had seen this. But I'm probably wrong. But anyway, how brilliant is that picture? That just sums it up, doesn't it? The detail in that, and it's just incredible.
Monkey Jeebus in the house. Glad you're here. Epic was Marvel's indie label. More or less. The more highbrow material back when they actually cared about doing art.
Isn't that fantastic there when he jumped off?
Yeah.
That guy, he jumps off and then the police car goes down and says, "Are you ready to talk yet?" And he's falling down. You got 30 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Brilliant.
That's after he was grabbed and thrown on the previous page. Beaten and tossed over the edge.
It's almost medieval, isn't it? Where they would just sort of stop somebody in the street and batter them and throw them in the river. This is kind of same kind of thing. Yeah. I mean, the thing is that he's jumped. They've thrown him over the edge. He could land on somebody, couldn't he?
That's a possibility. You've only got 30 seconds left before you hit the lake. Say anything you want to know. Saved barely in time. Look at that water. It's fantastic stuff. I'd stare at that page all day.
Yeah. Incredible.
Great detail. What
perspective. Look at that. It's like 2000 AD though, isn't it? Look at that guy. He says, "Look, a suicide," and the other guy says, "Great, there'll be more after him."
Yeah,
it's been a while since we had one. I remember seeing a Judge Dredd. There was somebody on one top of the towers, and all the crowd was shouting, "Jump, jump, jump!"
Didn't he get arrested for littering? I thought
something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
And then the guy at the bottom there says, "Koshkis, get me my rifle. This time I'm going to bag me one. Quick, get the guns!" And they're shooting them on the way down. Oh dear.
Picked up little droids.
Fantastic.
So it says Police Central and things like that in English. Would that have been redesigned from the French, I suppose?
I'm not sure.
Well, it wouldn't say police. Would it say Polizei or something? And Central? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I would imagine that's how it appeared, because I don't think they'd mess with the artwork, because that lettering, all of it's on the board. So
that's all they've done.
Yeah, I think it's as it appeared.
Stored.
So done for an American market, I suppose,
Could be. Yep. Could be.
eventually.
Yep.
English market, maybe.
English market. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or English speaking market. Let's put it that way.
What a great panel there.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
We said this before about his work. He does great depth, doesn't he?
He does.
You know, even when he does the desert in Blueberry and there's nothing there, it's still, you can still see the vastness of it.
Just seeing that second.
He's very aware of space and the space around.
Yeah. And how to use it up.
Yeah. I mean, I wonder how long it took him to draw that.
I don't know.
Probably about an hour.
Did he do the coloring on this? Because, you know, his coloring really helps with the depth of field too, especially in the Westerns.
Yves Chalon. Is it the Dark INCAL? Yves Chalon.
Yeah. Yves Chalon.
Yeah.
That's on the Dark INCAL. That comes up later.
Right.
I would imagine he did everything to start with. Yeah.
There's also a list on the next page of that, Randy. If you want to turn over, it tells you. Does it say?
Writer graphic.
No, it's just the
just a list of the different books for sale. Yeah.
Yeah, I would imagine that unless it says otherwise, it would be Moebius coloring these.
Yeah, I would think so too. There were a lot of people influenced by this stuff.
Yeah.
See a lot of everything in here.
Brilliant stuff.
Yeah. And again, if you haven't watched Jodorowsky's Dune documentary, definitely, if you get a chance to see it, watch it. It's amazing. Absolutely crazy stuff.
Is it on YouTube?
I would imagine it'd be on Prime. I would look on Amazon Prime first just to see if it's there. I don't know if it's on YouTube or not. I'd have to look. Jump over there and see what's there. Let me check here. First thing that comes up in the search. There's a trailer. It's available for buy or rent.
Okay.
Yeah, a number of different videos covering it, and plus the trailer. I know I stumbled across it and just was mesmerized by it. Ended up sitting through the entire documentary. It's just amazing.
I think I bought it at Walmart.
That's likely. It's probably everywhere there for a minute, back when you could buy physical media. It's a simplicity in the hair there. Just a conscious decision that didn't need much line work.
That guy got a mask on, or has he got a dog's head?
I think he's got a dog's head. He's howling like a dog.
Bestiality.
Yeah.
Genetics. He was up on all his boosters. That's what it was. Anyway.
Kind of
HR
an
said
Inspector
Go ahead.
Clouseau type character in that hat.
Look, yeah,
or
he's got that
Columbo.
look, doesn't he? Yeah.
Uh-huh.
HR said he started the INCAL after the failed Dune project that is linked to the Meta Baron and Techno Priest universe, the Jodoverse. That's one property I've never read was Metabarons. I need to dig that up. Take a look.
I've got a few of the floppies. I think I've got 4 of the issues of Meta Barons.
It's a bit deviant, isn't it? What's going on there?
Mm.
Yeah, a little. Yeah. It's the future.
Very European.
I appreciate the strategic nudity in order to keep us on YouTube. It could be a lot more explicit.
Mm.
Lots of words on this one.
Yeah, moving that exposition along. Managed to escape through a ventilation shaft. It's just too big to. Something was just too big to fall.
Very simple, minimalistic design, and yet very effective.
Yep, very much so.
Out of that, especially when it comes to the circular, tunnels.
Yeah. It's great work, though. Chapter 2, the INCAL's Ball.
He's changed colour. That guy. Oh, is he thinking? Yeah, he's thinking, yeah. Oh, he's suddenly turned into Doctor Strange in that third panel. On the right.
Here?
Yeah, that looked
Got it,
like he's firing one of Doctor Strange's bolts of magic at someone. That doorman.
Yeah.
It's very cartoony, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is.
I can see some Frank Springer in his woman, and that blonde woman, Frank Springer.
Mm-hmm.
Again, that blue panel down the first page. I get Doctor Strange vibes from that.
Yeah.
That one creature on the second page reminds me of that sort of lizard dog from last week, only bigger.
And looks like the chest burster from Alien.
Yeah, it's giving me what was the one that Jim Henson Workshop did?
Dark Crystal?
No, the series, the sci-fi series.
Farscape.
Farscape. Yeah.
Farscape.
It's got vibes
Yeah.
of Farscape off it. Yeah.
You can see that. It's a bird.
It's a plane.
No, it's a bird. B-E-R-G.
No, a berg.
Yeah.
It's a boig.
Kind of surprised nobody's tried to do an animated version of this. And it's such a landmark piece of work.
Because the elements of it that made it edgy would all be smoothed out.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
I
I'm
was just
sure it
thinking-
wouldn't be as good, but yeah.
I was thinking earlier that this will probably be made into some kind of motion picture, whether it's animation or real, whatever you call it. After Jodorowsky's dead, because he's 96 now. Moebius is already dead, and somebody will inherit this and think, "Fuck it, well, let's make a film and change it all."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, they kind of
I've no confidence in any new version of old material anymore. No confidence at all.
No. Well, they'll change it. We'll see it and be disappointed.
Mm-hmm. Everybody will think it's a great piece of cinema when it's actually a lower version of the original sequential art. Yeah.
It's like, was it somebody said somebody was joking in the chat yesterday saying, "Oh no, isn't that where Han Solo died?" And somebody said, "Han Solo's dead," and I said, "No, he isn't. He's not dead. Those 3 films, they don't exist. Just he's not dead. I don't know what you're talking about."
It's all bad fan fiction and shipping anyway.
Yeah.
Look at this work here, a little thicker line work.
I think you can forgive maybe execution as long as the heart is in the right place. So as an example, that last Conan movie that had what's his face in it, Aquaman.
Momoa?
Yeah. There were aspects of that were fine, and he was trying to be Conan in it. It was an attempt. It was
Conan was an Aquaman.
No, I'm talking about the actor.
Oh
no, Aquaman was in Conan. It's the other way around.
Right.
They did a Conan movie with Momoa in it.
There's a book about that. But yeah, so it was okay. It wasn't terrible. It wasn't the Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, and even then, the Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, it was half Cull and half Conan.
Mm-hmm.
But it did have the essence of Conan in it, and you could
really
see that it came from.
Sorry, Russ, didn't mean to step on. Go ahead.
It's okay. You could tell that it came from a place of wanting to do the right thing, and I think that means it's okay. You can forgive a bit of execution. But when people just say, "Oh, well, I'm going to take that and I'm going to rewrite it to do what I want with it," without thinking about the original version at all, just I'm going to take that character and I'm going to put my character within it. It's just they're just wearing it as a skin suit, which is think that's what they're about to do to Masters of the Universe. Again, it's like, no, make your own stuff. But part of that, I know this is a discussion we've had again and again, and I'll shut up in a sec, about the fact that studios don't risk anything anymore, which is why they go back to old IPs and then let new writers sort of ruin them. But you've got to take some responsibility as well. If you're gonna make a version of something that came out prior to your part in it, then you must respect it.
Wasn't
true.
One of the briefs not to read the previous material on one of them?
Oh, a lot of the Marvel directors were told not to read the comics.
That was an idea somebody come up with after Endgame when they decided they didn't want to make billions of dollars.
Yeah.
But we're fed up making all this money.
They told their writers to completely dismiss the original material.
What it is just a general disrespect for what has come before. And this isn't just Marvel, it's everywhere. It's part of the Western world at the moment, and it's a sickness that we have to cure. If we're to continue, if we're to persist, we must stop the rot. And the rot is like everything that's gone before is wrong and bad and evil, or in some way misguided. No, it's just what has gone before. Respect it for what it is. You will make the same mistakes if you do not adhere to respecting the past. Okay. And then even more so in entertainment and this kind of stuff, it's like there's a reason why, it was so good. There's a reason why people loved it. Don't just walk all over that because you want to make something new.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Yep.
And hopefully, it's going to cross selling here. Hopefully people agree that's what we're doing with the Atlantean. That's what we're doing with Cull. It's like we're building, hopefully, on what Robert E. Howard has done. We're respecting the characters and the world and the way that he hopefully would have seen us. We'd like to think he's watching over our shoulder, looking at us produce this story. We've always got a one eye over our shoulder thinking, are we getting this right? Are we doing this right? Not, oh, sod that. This is our character now. We'll do what we want with it.
Yeah.
No, that's not how this shit works.
What about this? I'm kind of curious I'm kind of curious to see what you think about this. They, on December 23rd, they broadcast, and some of you might have saw it, especially over there in England, the War Games 1969, the last Patrick Troughton Doctor Who episode. They shortened it and colorized it for a new generation. Is that a good or a bad thing?
No, just leave it the way it was. The next generation aren't going to learn if everything they get given or shown is put through a filter.
Yeah.
So no. That's why
I agree. I just
all
wanted
these
to hear what you thought about it.
I think that's why all these trigger warnings and everything are ridiculous. We're growing, we're creating people that are weak and are too susceptible to be upset. That doesn't mean that we should always move forward. We should always consider people's emotional environment. We should consider other people's feelings, but at the same time, people should have a spine, and they should be able to look back into the past and see where the mistakes were, but also appreciate what was done correct, what was done right, what was done well, or with the good intentions. Not just like, okay, let's put a nice veneer over everything so you can consume it.
Yeah.
You must see the world as it is, not as you want it to be. It's all a bit deep. Let's get back into the comic.
I was going to say one thing I learned when I was doing the paper. I did a little entertainment paper here that I distributed in my county, 10,000 copies for free for 100 issues. There are people out there that just don't have a sense of humor.
Yes, that's the other thing.
They can't take anything lightly, and they have just an outright dismissal, almost almost a cultish dedication to not allowing anything humorous, funny, or entertaining remotely around them. They just don't want to have anything to do with it.
And the trouble is those people get into a position of power, or they get into politics or whatever, and they've got no sense of humor. You look at our current prime minister, and he obviously has no sense of humor. He has no idea about being a human. Okay. And I see people all the time on Facebook like, oh, I hate this, I hate that. Getting upset about what maybe Elon Musk has said, or somebody on the other side, I don't know, Brandon, whatever his name is, the current president, and it's like, will you please just lighten up, just live a little, be a human.
Stop taking things so seriously.
Yeah.
I saw that coming early on, doing the newspaper, and the majority of the people that didn't have that sense of humor, that just had those walls up, that there was no way you were going to get into them with any type of joke or cartoon. 85% of them, I would say, were female. And it was just a trend that I couldn't help but see. I'd walk into a business whose owner was female. They didn't want to have anything to do at all with the paper. You walk in some other place to a guy behind the counter who owns a business. He looks through the paper and laughs and goes, of course you can put it, in here. Yeah.
Well, never mind. What fantastic character designs. Look at those coppers or whatever they are.
Yeah, we've been looking at
Bottom-
some really crazy stuff
Bottom
here.
there, they're great. Look at them.
Yeah. And incidental too, just there.
Mm.
Yeah. But there's so much imagination and
Oh
ingenuity
yeah,
in the story. It's
and
crazy.
look at how full all the panels are.
Yeah.
They're
Look at that.
cramped.
And right now, you're really seeing the more realistic domestic side of the story. It gets very fantastic as we go along. Said HR said, I read the whole fat book in one go. Oh, good for
Whoa.
you. It was amazing reading it fast. Didn't stop to linger on the pictures. So many directors have taken so much of it. Lucas, Besson, and so on. Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah.
Very influential. That and that Dune book that Jodorowski had done. Just
Yeah, I mean,
crazy.
these books that Moebius was involved with,
Yeah.
whether he wrote them or whether other people wrote them, whatever, the whole set, the imagination involved in it, the vision, it doesn't get the credit that it deserves for,
No.
sci-fi, fantasy, entertainment across the board in films and TV and all kinds of other places and literary works. It just doesn't get because it's in comic format, basically. Just comics just don't get respected. I know they are in Europe and Japan. I understand that. But remember, this is a wider, sort of almost a global impression. And it's very much pushed by, the UK and the States. And they're still having trouble respecting the art form.
I can see where this influenced people like Peter Milligan that I was reading in Pacific Comics in the early 80s, like Johnny Nemo and Parallax and
Oh yeah, very much so.
Freakway, which was Waterworld, basically. So we all pick it up at various stages, just like I was old enough to watch Star Trek when it was originally airing and subsequent, syndication, but some people may not be as old and picked it up and saw it at a different time, in a different light, in a different era.
Yeah, well, I saw it in the 70s.
But influenced them in a different way.
Yeah. I like that bottom right-hand panel there, the big panel. That's almost like a vinyl album cover from the 70s.
Yeah. Oh yeah, very much.
See that on a Cream album or something.
Yeah.
I was thinking it's got a lot of Peter Max to it. Yellow Submarine.
Yeah,
kind of look.
Lovely lighting as well. Look at the lighting on the underside of the craft. Very nice.
Oh yeah. And yet just simple, no detail in the clouds. They don't need it. Just a simple graduated tone back here for the sky. Which really adds that flavor. Little green, yellowish green here for the ground, just to show folks, just to get that point across. It's a beauty in its simplicity. There we are. Look at that panel. I'm flying. I'm flying. He's levitating. By the Empire. Shut him up. I'm burning up. Everything's burning up.
Again, gorgeous lighting.
The whole flying palace is engulfed in fire. And you, the all-powerful, I see you crawling in my mind, in the mud. I arg. This is the Empire. Shut him up. Yeah, look at that lighting. It's the use of orange to yellow to white.
Almost looks like a halo over that character. Or
Here, yeah,
I mean, are those supposed to be halos?
yeah.
Okay.
Halos are like little
hat wear.
clear plastic hats. Maybe I don't know. It's floating there. Yeah, maybe halos. Some have them, some don't. That the police are faceless, all wearing the same mask.
I would think future sci-fi is one of the hardest things. It still needs to be relatable, like this flying vehicle. But
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you have to have a touchstone to the past for it to be relatable. But you always want to go to the fantastic. I guess it depends on what story you're trying to tell. But be as fantastic as you can without really losing that touchstone to the past. Or if you're on another planet, it has to somehow relate to Earthlings, even though the principal characters might not even be Earthlings.
Yeah.
Because that's our point of reference and thinking, right? That's all we've got.
Well, I think grounding the entire story is John, the fool here, the main character. That guy. He's like everybody's everyman. Very fallible, very human. Again, you just study that coloring. That line work here.
And it has that sort of pterodactyl type character from heavy metal as well.
Yeah, Arzak. Who knew he was that small? Anyway. Great ships.
It would be interesting to, if someone did do something with this in film, to hear the musical score to some of this.
Yeah, that would be open for artistic interpretation. Great. Look at that. Lighting again.
It's almost animated, isn't it? It's brilliant.
Very much so. Yep. I love the ships.
I'd say this has a wider range with the palette, although that's subjective, than the Westerns. The Westerns seem to be warm or cool. Not always, especially some of the later ones we saw.
Even the early ones, the use of earth tones and that in the early blueberries is just genius. The whole look of it. Let's see
God,
that
that's
line
bonkers.
here.
This is wild.
You've never looked through this before?
No. This
okay.
It's been cut into 4 bits, and then the 4 bits turn into little goblins.
Yeah.
Wow. Is he on drugs, or is that him done?
That would be a yes to both of those.
Okay.
I don't think he's done though. John's the main character through the whole story.
Well, I was about to say he's the main character. That'd be a very brave thing to do.
It's a very trippy book.
It is trippy.
Great shot. Comes in and just.
There's a paper you can write on, the use of drugs in comics. you know, who
That'd
was
be
on them?
that'd be a long.
What did they do?
That would be a long,
Yeah,
long
or
paper.
alcohol.
Depending on
I know
how
there's a lot of
detailed.
alcoholics.
Well, yeah, there is that. And you could see the drug references during this time in the 70s. There's a lot of that creeps into Marvel stuff. Don McGregor and Killraven and that kind of stuff. It gets very trippy. Jim Starlin's cosmic stuff, even. But that's kind of an offshoot, though, of Kirby and Lee's FF and the level of imagination, just sheer imagination that those books had. People were
Oh, absolutely. I
feeding
mean,
feeding
they
off of
passed
that.
it.
Go ahead.
They passed it on to another generation of artists and writers.
Yeah.
It built upon itself.
It's a great look there. Almost looks like Ernest from the movies. That's the kind of impression that he wanted to get across with this character. Kind of a human bumpkin. The use of purple here for this guy. Still with us, Glenn?
Yeah, I'm just looking at the artwork.
Yeah,
I've never seen this book. I know of it. I've never been through the thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just like the composition on the first page at the top, where he's on the top 3 panels, where he's always on the bottom of the panel.
Yeah, right there, grounded. That's what he is. Puts us down at mouse level, worm's eye view.
Yeah, it's very crowded in that panel.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's weighing on his mind. I mean, mind you, he just hasn't been in 4 pieces, hasn't he? So
yeah,
so he's talking about the drugs and things. I know that Moebius took drugs. He said it himself. I don't know if Kirby and Stanley ever did, other than maybe tobacco and alcohol, but I doubt that they did. Same as Steve Ditko. I think that was just their imaginations that were running wild on their stuff. But this stuff is obviously influenced, and I think he readily admits that in interviews as well. So
I might be wrong on this, but I seem to remember reading an interview where Kirby said that he was always straight. He didn't believe in that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
he just pulled everything out of his head.
Yeah, we know he's smart because he has a cigar all the time, doesn't he?
Yeah, but that's not.
I know, I know, but it's still a drug, isn't it? But
technically, yeah,
it's not hallucinogenic. That is my point. And I don't know whether Stanley smoked. I would imagine he did, because most people did in those days, didn't they? Whether
Oh no, he smoked cigarettes, yeah, but I would imagine he partook of weed every once in a while. Wouldn't surprise me. So that back during that those days, he was trying to be hip and cool with the college kids.
Yeah, I can imagine Stanley smoking weed.
Yeah,
I can imagine him mixing with people who did, but he didn't actually do it. He might have been trying to look hip and cool, but I don't think it doesn't strike me as a character that would go all the way to be hip and cool. He just wants people to think he's hip and cool. That's just my opinion.
Yeah. Also a product of a different generation too. So
yeah. And Kirby was just too busy drawing to be bothered about anything like that.
Well, with Kirby especially, I would imagine you'd want to stay substance free just because you've already got enough coming out of your head.
That's what I mean.
What more do you need? Yeah.
I'll tell you something that's quite unnerving. Where Kirby lived, it was about 15 miles from Spahn Ranch, where Charles Manson lived.
Yeah.
And he was out of his head all the time. So it doesn't mean Kirby was or anybody else was, but I'm just saying.
Well, I would imagine.
As with all drugs.
Go ahead, Russ.
So I says, as with all drugs, eventually they'll become counteractive.
Yeah.
Because they'll have physical effects on you, and eventually you won't be able to do the work as quickly.
Yeah, you get dependent, don't you, and all that kind of stuff.
Yep. And well, yeah, you see that a lot with alcohol, especially with some of these artists in their later years, Wood and Everett and that kind of thing. It definitely had a detrimental effect on them.
But I don't think that. I mean, again, I don't know. It's just my opinion, but I don't think that people like Wally Wood and Bill Everett, who were alcoholics, I don't think they were alcoholics because they were artists. I think they were artists who were alcoholic. Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah,
Russ,
very true. Yeah,
you know Paul Gascoigne, Russ, the footballer. He's a nutcase, isn't he? But he's not a nutcase because he's a footballer. He's a nutcase who plays football. I don't think these things, we're all artists. We don't do all this. At least I don't. So it's the person, not what they do.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, we'd all be the same, wouldn't we? But this fellow's imagination certainly does expand with his use of these hallucinogenic stuff. I'm not sure I want to try it though.
Looks like a red hamburger.
I was thinking orange. Yeah, it's like an orange. That's what I thought of it.
The colour's got a bit muddy now, hasn't it?
Yeah, it is.
I mean, look at that bottom panel there on the left. It's really wiping it out, isn't it? That's not good.
It does.
I would doubt that Moebius has coloured this one because it's too comic booky. It's too flat colours, simple colours, and it's not working. It's spoiling the artwork for me.
I don't know. He did a lot with in Blueberry that was really flat like that. And later on, probably around this period or slightly before, he got real muddy.
Mm-hmm. It doesn't look like coloured artwork to me. It looks like it looks like coloured artwork and not colour artwork. If you understand what I mean.
I do. Yeah.
That's why I was saying about that last panel being really muddy and the two oranges at the top. It's that brown. It doesn't work for me. It doesn't work with that orange or that red. Yeah,
100% right. Yeah,
it's too muddy.
Yep.
I mean, what those guys?
Look at that last panel. Look at that last panel, second page though. Just very subtly with just graduations of color adds that depth to that tunnel and everything.
It does.
And oh man, wow.
But it takes a minute to look at it to figure out what it is because it is, again, like Len said, so muddy. You don't see the figures here until you really look at them.
Yeah.
Look at the panel above where you can only just work out the guy sitting on the conveyor belt. So it's completely lost.
And yet here you've got exactly the opposite. Everything's colored and defined and sharp. Yeah.
And then in the middle panel, he suddenly turns green.
Yeah. Well, that's him waking up too. So.
Yeah.
Hey, what?
What?
I always think these things should be printed on coffee-sized table books.
Yeah, works like this, absolutely. Yep.
And if it costs,
but I think, go ahead.
Sorry. It costs 50 quid. It costs 50 quid. I'd buy it for 50 quid. So, maybe not too many people would.
That's the trouble. It's economies of scale, isn't it? Where they're getting enough people to buy them.
The thing with the epic stuff, especially these reprints here, at the time, they were the pinnacle. I mean, they went out and found nice white glossy stock paper, and that a lot of that stuff had never been done before. Most of the comics were printed on newsprint of varying qualities.
I suppose this was high quality at the time, wasn't it?
This was, yeah.
We looked at The Long Tomorrow, where that guy runs under that jet and that rocket, and we saw that little Star Wars Hoth droid in the background. Remember that? Well, he's there again, isn't he, at the top?
He likes some spindly arms, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Well, how big your robot arms have to be?
And that third panel with the red background is when they're pushing Han Solo away when they've frozen him. That thing, where they're pushing him through the corridor.
Yeah.
And then underneath it on the purple background looks like the space station they do it on, with that Lando Calrissian, as he called, lives on. Looks like that.
Yep. Bespin, the Cloud City. Yeah.
Cloud City.
But then again, we are talking Star Wars, aren't we?
Yeah.
There was a lot of stuff in there that was taken.
Marvy in the house. Good to see you, Marvy. Good morning. Hope to get the Atlantean in Europe. Not available yet. It is. Isn't it? Amazon, it's available now. So more Arrow comics available too. Yeah, working on it.
Marv needs the Portuguese version, doesn't he?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Red Dragon, it's coming. I think their campaign's still going on, isn't it, Russ?
Sorry?
The Atlantean campaign from Red Dragon?
Yeah, that's up. Yeah, that's going.
Still going?
Yeah, they'll be going for a month or two, yeah.
Yeah. HR says, I think they blazed, but not a lot, just to wake the inspiration a little from not to go into stagnation. I says, I have to agree that weed helps when it comes to creativity. You see things from another perspective. Frees up the brain cells a little. But then, that's what they said LSD did too for the longest time. Tune in, turn on, drop out.
So does a whiskey.
There you go. Oh, man. It's the Meta Baron.
Back to the dog man.
Yep.
Again, look at that center panel on that second page. It's just so muddy you can't see what's going on.
Yeah, it is difficult to just figure out, decipher. And yet here again.
Yeah.
Nicely done.
It's either Abbey Road or the Evolution of Man. I can't figure out which.
Yeah. Yeah, a bit of both.
Yeah. This is a signal problem that a lot of comics had in the 90s and 2000s, right after, earthquake, right after they discovered Photoshop. Everything went muddy like this, using browns and grays and dark purples and that kind of thing. It got to be there was a whole time period there in mainstream, back then that was mainstream comics, where you had a lot of this going on.
And look at that center panel again. It's just
right here, all of the details.
Yeah, it's just and the bottom panel as well. Look, it's just too much.
Yep.
You look at that, I'm going to look at the woman.
Yeah. That could be the harshness of the printing too.
Yeah.
When Moebius initially colored this, he might have saw it in his eye a lot brighter than what it came out on the page.
That woman looks like she's got Halo Jones haircut.
Yeah.
I was thinking she had vibes from Kirby there.
Not a big Barda.
Yeah, Big Birdo, yeah.
Yep.
A femme fatale.
Yeah.
I was saying before about how much detail there was in the panels, and there's only that first. There's no detail anywhere now. All of a sudden, it disappeared.
She's on a throne of A's.
Yeah.
All sorts of little A's back there.
She's insured AAA.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, look at the posture here. It's through the crossed legs, just natural looking.
You
Very
see,
relaxed.
this is great, but it's sort of losing me at the moment because this guy with a wolf's head, I don't like that kind of character.
It's the mixed in.
Yeah, doesn't do it for me. She looks great, but that looks stupid with that
Anthropomorphic.
wolf's head.
Yeah.
I think Alex Raymond, they really, now this was the religious right, if you will, in America at the time for like the first 2 years. They had a problem with that because of it's almost the anthropomorphic characters that were first depicted, like the Lion's Man and everything, and Flash Gordon, because they thought they were kind of pushing evolution.
It's probably
That's the
reason
first I've heard of that, but I could see them thinking that way. Go ahead, Glenn. Sorry.
It's probably the reason I'm not keen on Planet of the Apes.
Okay.
It's just don't work for me.
Oh, that's a harsh purple right there.
Especially when it's obvious that it's a fella with a monkey head on, like Roddy McDowell.
Yeah.
Like Doctor Who, a lot of those aliens and Star Trek, you could tell there was, obviously it's a person dressed up, it doesn't work.
He did what the budget allowed, Foam rubber monsters and toilet paper roll spaceships, that kind of stuff.
Shorecraft did some good aliens, but they also did some wonky stuff.
Mm-hmm. Well, there was a period there with Star Trek Next Generation that all they did was put a prosthetic on the face, and it was a different alien. Yeah, it's crazy.
That's why Babylon 5 is so good, because the aliens in it, they're nothing like anything. They're not people dressed up, and those shadow people and all that sort of stuff.
That's got a lot of really intelligent design work all the way through it. The people that were there, they weren't making a lot of money. They did that thing on a hardcore shoestring budget, but there was so much great imagination mixed into that. I mean, you knew every alien race had a different physiology right off the top. And though they had 2 arms, 2 legs, and it was humans made over. We all, everybody knew that, but it carried on so well in the story and was such a part of the story that everybody was so different from one another. And even the machines and the technology that they used was so well thought out. It's amazing. That show still is amazing today. So I think where they got cheap was their budgets. They figured out how to work a lot of different sets by moving different background pieces around on the set. Again, because of budgetary restraints. That's where I think the budget shows on that show, but everything else is just so top notch. They got the best actors they could at the time, and just the best designers, the best makeup people. Just really great stuff.
I missed it. What show are you speaking of?
Babylon 5.
Oh yeah, Babylon 5. Yeah, I think it still holds up. He's supposed to be remaking that. I'm excited about that.
I honestly hope it doesn't go through, because what was there is good enough. You know what I'm saying?
I think so too. But and most of the principal actors, but we'll see.
Why remake it? Do something else.
It's like Firefly. You're never going to find that combination, that chemistry again. And so you just need to leave it be. Maybe do your outside media on it, because there's been a lot of novels and comics for both Firefly and Babylon 5, but don't try to reboot the thing. Just do something new.
I was warned off by my sister not to go and see Jonathan Frakes' Thunderbirds, and I hadn't seen it, but apparently that sort of stopped his career a little, didn't it?
She was incredibly wise. Yeah. You would the sad thing with that's why you can't find that movie anywhere, is because it was such an embarrassment. It's just terribly done.
If I was the one with Bill Paxton?
Yes.
If I was going to cast that,
Bill Paxton.
If I was going to cast that as a live action, I would have to get, maybe not now, he's probably a bit too old, but when that was coming out, 20 years ago, I would have had to try to get Patrick Stewart as the Hood and not Gandhi.
Yeah. Yep. I gotta agree. But I think the big failure there is all the kids, or all of the sons were teenagers, and it just didn't work. You know, we're in.
But they couldn't be, could they? That means one of them must have been 12.
Yeah, no,
There's
they
five.
were. Yeah,
There's
it
five
was
of
all
them.
young kids. Yeah,
But in the
Yeah, it
original
was-
one, there's only Alan who's 17. The others are in the 20s.
hmm
So
worked so much better.
they obviously don't understand how babies work.
Well, that movie was funded by Nickelodeon, and they were pushing for a younger audience. It didn't work in every direction. Devil Flyer says it's snowing there.
It is indeed.
HR
It
says-
hasn't let up.
Genetic manipulation to play God is on humans' mind. Yeah.
Horrible browns on this spread.
Here, especially.
Yeah, look at that smoke. It's just awful.
But pretty blues.
Missed potential. I mean, an explosion like that should be
Mhm.
have so much more going for it, or smoking, fires like that.
And again, that
Or
might be
just
a
that-
drawback of the printing process over the coloring choice.
Well, that if you just go back,
I
the
was
page,
wondering
you see
about that.
You just look at that red panel there with the lettering in. You can't read it, can you?
Here, yeah.
Yeah,
No, you can't.
that's terrible.
I would have knocked that out, made it white, make the lettering
What's all
white.
that about then, eh?
I don't know. It's
You could have made it yellow or anything, but that dark red. That's,
Yeah. Yep. It doesn't make it.
Marvel yellow.
Yeah.
They did a lot of those in yellow.
this artwork doesn't look like Moebius to me.
No, it's different, isn't it?
Change, isn't it?
Yeah.
And look at that.
He's
hand
It's
at the
almost
bottom.
like it's almost
that
like the
hand.
backgrounds are him and the
Yeah.
people aren't.
Well, if you
Yeah.
look at that page, the third panel, the long panel, that's Moebius with that like machinery. But look
Uh-huh.
at the bottom panel, that guy's head. Look at the hand. That's not a
Yeah.
Moebius hand.
No, weird, isn't it? Perhaps he got somebody else to fill in for him.
Yeah, and if you look at the panel with the two guys looking at the screen, two bald guys, that looks like a Moebius pose and faces. But then go down to him, and there's all that crappy detail on. Moebius doesn't put detail on like that.
Not like that, no. And it doesn't sit with the rest of the style. We were talking about earlier
That's
about
right.
the 2 styles or the 3 styles. This isn't something that you'd think of him.
It's kind of
how
a
weird.
morphing. It's kind of a morphing between his Arzak material and Blueberry, isn't it? I mean, and at this point too, keep in mind he was hitting deadlines on these chapters for Metal Hurlant, so some of it might just be chalked up to being rushed, or he might have had an apprentice working on a lot of this stuff.
Well, he needs
My
a new
apprentice.
apprentice.
Young Padawan.
Exactly.
There's that. How's that guy again?
Right, INCAL, Chapter 1. Obey Tenebrae.
I guess maybe that's where they got Lockheed, the little dragon, for Shadowcat or whatever you want to call her in the X-Men.
Kitty Pride. Yeah.
Kitty Pryde, yeah.
Yep. I can almost guarantee you that's where it came from.
This is humorous cartoon stuff. Those top panels on the second page. Come on. It's got a Heckle and Jekyll feel to it. I don't know. It's Popeye.
It does. Seriously, it does. Yeah, I can see that.
And then the panel underneath it, back to form
Mhm.
Yeah.
with the shading on the top of the bird. the lighting, then the technology, line weights, just brilliant.
Yeah.
Wow. Such a blend.
Yeah. Yeah. Right here, especially. Look at how cartoony that is. Crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost underground at times,
Yeah.
Very much. Yeah. Yeah.
grungy, you know.
And again, all that lost detail here.
If
Hard to see from the mud.
I wouldn't,
Yeah.
if you'd have asked me, I wouldn't have said that was Moebius had drawn that.
No. And
And
then look at how thick the lines are on that top
Yeah.
panel. That's weird.
Here.
Yeah.
Yeah. On the previous top page, are they all
Especially
Jewish?
compared to this.
They're all shouting, "Oh, they!"
Bizarre.
Oh, it's not good.
Yeah, it's just weird, isn't it?
I'm
Maybe
wondering
this
if
is
this
some
wasn't
kind of
done in a
dream.
different size than this.
I think it's
It's all a
consciously
dream.
different, though.
Yeah.
Whether that's Mobius consciously saying, I'm going to do something different with these panels, or whether he's got somebody else to do it for him. It's definitely different.
Do you
Unless
know
they-
what
it wasn't
tools
working that
he
day.
used to ink with?
Probably a pen.
No.
No?
Yeah. But I'm not
Oh.
sure which pen or what kind.
I would say it looks like some kind of pen, yeah, like a dip pen.
Quill pen.
Or pitograph, maybe.
Maybe.
Halder wants to know how much snow you're supposed to get, Rex.
I have no idea.
Well, nobody's supposed to get snow.
True.
It's
Our
not,
weather
it's not a
forecast
human
here is-
right.
Yeah, really. Could definitely do without it, in my opinion.
See, the universe just
Yeah,
doesn't
right.
care. It'll snow
Doesn't
when it
give
wants
a
to.
monkeys. No. He likes what you want is you know, in between the ages of 6 and 12, you want every year to snow,
Yeah.
and then after that, you never want it to snow again.
But don't forget
Amen.
to see that. Don't forget the snow is asking the same question: why are there so many humans around?
Yeah. What the hell are they doing?
Change the color.
Is it Netis Art? Hi guys. Hope you're doing all right. Thanks
Hello.
for joining us. Appreciate you being here. New to the show. We're looking through Moebius's INCAL right now.
I think you better turn the page. This isn't good.
Okay. I can take that hint. I like the
I like the
cartoony stuff.
humor in it, though.
The cartoon
that
bits are
character.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with it, but it's not Moebius.
It's not Mobius, is it? I mean, look. Then you've got this page here,
Look at
Then you
that.
have Drew Lay suddenly walking
and
in.
look,
Yeah.
Yes.
and look at the right hand page. Look at the line weights. Look at the
Yeah.
expanse. Look at the way
And
it
the space.
looks
yeah.
like a different artist.
Yeah.
Back to Moebius again.
That spider guy is quite scary, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a bit horrible, isn't it?
Ominous.
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 Just think if somebody drew that today, they'd draw one side and flop it.
Yes.
I hate to think that they would. Actually, today they just have AI do a rendering of it, and trace it.
Well, it depends who you talk to.
Yeah.
Not
This
all
really
of us.
reminds me. I've got a copy of Elric, drawn by Drew Lay, that has a lot of that feel to it. Very unusual stuff. So we'll have to look at that in a week or so. Love this though. This whole page works for me. I like it.
Yes, this is very Mobius.
It's
Yeah.
it's the egg in Alien, isn't it? Opening up.
It is.
Mm.
Yep. Yeah, here.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Schlurp.
Off of the top of the ship here, where the building.
Not sure about this. Oh, the
Wow.
Tenebrae.
There goes that cartoon. I reckon he's
Yeah.
just when those pages just drawn by somebody different.
Yeah. I mean, look at that
Oh,
planet. It's awful.
I would wager that he drew it. It was just quick and fun, meant to be humorous.
Hmm. Yeah,
Like,
no, I'm not talking about the cartoony stuff. I'm
Yeah.
talking about, look at the panel above it.
Here.
That's what looks different to me. The cartoony stuff is obviously cartoony. Okay, whoever, Moebius can turn his hand to that anytime he likes. He can just drop into a cartoon style, like it's genius. But the panel above, you turn the page back. Yeah, to the previous. Now, yeah. Now, look at the lines.
Mhm.
Yeah. And then turn it over and look at those people.
Diversity in comics.
You could imagine why there would be thicker lines, maybe even done with a brush on that cartoony stuff with the funny animal, the pterodactyl, but not the rest of the page. You would expect the rest of the page to be as per what you're looking at. That's what I'm saying. Something is consciously different. I'm not following the story particularly, so I'm probably missing something. But you can see there's a definite change in pace to the way it's drawn, and
the way it's drawn, space is awful.
Yeah,
and it doesn't look like something he'd normally do.
No, it looks totally humorous.
Yeah.
A flying eggplant.
Aubergine, as they say.
You could forget that in 1937 where Superman's hurtling away from Krypton, but nowadays that's pretty weak. It's humorous.
Yeah. You can see there's the reveal. Look at the guy where he's shouting, he's shouting in French. No, instead of no. They didn't change that bit, but they changed the.
Look to the guy to the right of that no panel, okay, and the way that the fella above on his back is drawn, and then look at the panel on the left, on the top.
Yeah,
they're different.
Yeah,
without doubt. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. There's this conscious focus on, and whether that's a conscious focus from Moebius and I'm missing it in the story, or whether he's got somebody else to ink for him, I don't know.
I mean, look at the hands of the guy on the right. They're not. It's just
all spindly. Yeah,
good.
It could be the level of drugs he was on too.
Yeah, it could be two different people in the same body.
Well, like I said, he was taking the wrong ones on this one.
Yeah,
these were done at different times too, because this is the start of a second chapter. He's hitting a deadline here.
Maybe. It could be. Yeah. It could be that he's just hitting a deadline at the end there. I don't know.
Look at that lettering on the bottom panel on the last page there, where it's missing, where it's touching on the panel borders. You'd have thought they'd have pushed it up a bit, wouldn't you? And this it says, "Okay, John, now it's up to you." Other side, in the middle. Got it? No, other side of the panel. Right, bottom right. Right page, bottom panel. Last panel.
Here?
There. The lettering there, the center, the center bubble.
Yeah. Yep.
You'd have had to move that up.
That could have been done better in the translation.
These guys with these
the
sunglasses on in the last panel there. They're reminding me of Bernard Cribbins in that Doctor Who film. Those guys who were helping the Daleks in the 60s in Daleks Invasion Earth. I think Peter Cushing.
Okay. Didn't they have he drew a character very similar to that in Airtight Garage, didn't he?
I don't know.
Well, we looked at it. Well, I'll have to go back and take another look at it. Halder says, I love the colors and in certain spots. They work really well. Yeah. What about a show about how you do your comics? Russ do it digitally and Glenn traditionally. That would make for a good show.
Yeah.
Be happy to show the process. Working on a 6-page HeroBot story right now while I'm working on the plot for Atlantean 3. It's been fun. Nice contrast of ideas and genres. There's John again.
Oh, he's almost on an infinity platform there, isn't he?
Yeah,
Infinity
giant
symbol.
potato chip. That's what it is. Yeah.
Looks like a Pringle, doesn't it, Russ?
Yeah.
It does.
Colors still, I mean, that last panel, second page, just it's so dark. You know,
Here. Yeah.
yeah, it's not a good
Unleash your
palette,
techno
really.
powers. No. Muddy. They're going to unleash their techno powers here. Meanwhile, on the planet Hoth,
Yeah.
Lex Luthor approaches Superman's refuge.
it's Fortress of Solitude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I have to figure out. Oh, and the special guest appearance by the mole from Thunder.
Yeah, Virgil's got there first.
Lex Luthor reminds me of Frank Quietly in the face a little bit.
Yeah. Everybody's got those glasses on here.
Got that Captain Code collar going on.
The cardio claw.
You go from the near naked man to a guy, you know, in winter wear.
Mm-hmm.
My tentacles are freezing out here. Let's go in.
That's Marv says, I forgot you draw too, Randy. Sorry. Well, I kind of draw. I can't draw like this. That's for sure. My style tends to be a lot more cartoony, and I haven't never took the time to draw more serious.
I don't know, Randy. You're probably all over the place too.
I am.
Like Glenn, you look at that the bald guy on the bottom right.
Yeah.
That's the same bald guy that we highlighted earlier. That we said,
Yeah.
oh, that doesn't look like his start. I mean, look at his face there.
Yeah.
That's right.
Completely different face.
Yep.
Completely different face.
Russ says, I only sketch digitally. Finished art is traditional ink. Still probably make for an interesting show for us to sit down and show how everybody works.
Good
Yeah.
for you, Russ.
No, thanks.
You never know. My work might actually be worth something when I'm dead, so my kids might profit from it.
Now, I can't remember. Were you offering up some of that traditional artwork on your? I don't think you were on your campaigns for sale,
Yeah,
right?
it was available for people to buy.
Were you?
It always is.
Okay.
Every campaign,
campaign,
I offer people original art.
Yep.
Didn't have any takers this time, but then, you know, it's hard out there at the moment. It's not a lot of money about.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
no,
but you
it's
don't
not to
really-
expect someone to pay $150 for a
Yeah.
a
But you
page
don't
of
really
art.
want to sell it though, do you? Want to keep it all?
Well,
Late-
that
late-
Oh, my
said-
little babies.
Yeah.
yeah. That'll change though. The more people know that we're what we're doing and that we're out there on a regular basis.
I'd like to think that, you know, if we keep going, if we keep doing this, which I'd really want to do, you know, once you get up to like, you know, 10 issues or whatever, maybe you've got an omnibus from it or whatever, that people are going to start taking an interest in that artwork. Yeah.
The more we do, the more we will attract. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of artwork, look at that guy there. That doesn't look like Moebius drawing, does it? This
Doesn't
on
look
the
like Blueberry even.
on the
you
next
know?
page.
On the next page.
The guy with the
Yeah.
hand on whatever it's called. It doesn't look like Moebius at all. Again, if you showed me that page, I wouldn't think it was Moebius.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't look like him, does it? That's weird.
I mean, he draws.
I tell you what. Sorry, look at his hand. The guy that's shooting the gun, middle panel.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's almost like a Buscema lackadaisical hand.
Yeah.
You know, just flicking in the fingers. That's it's bizarre.
Lex Luthor as what was it? Dr. Cold. Who was the Flash villain?
Captain Cold. Yeah.
Oh, he looks
Captain
more
Cold,
like
yeah.
or Freeze, Mr. Freeze.
Especially watercolor. I'm learning it. And if I nail it, I'll paint my graphic novel instead
Ooh.
of only inking it. There you go, Mark.
That is something that I see in my retirement. Is I'd really like to do a painted graphic novel,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm not going to have time to learn how to paint properly until then, I'm afraid.
Yeah. Yeah, I did that for about a month. I sat down and concentrated on just painting. I was really happy with the result, but trying to find the time to get back to it is really a
Great
Yeah, well,
crab monster and
more than a
is
challenge.
totally
cool.
black background.
I've
Yeah.
looked up some like digital painting because what I'd like to do is draw it myself, you know, as per normal, and then digital paint it.
Yeah.
But maybe even do a cover on the Atlantean at some point. But
Oh,
at
yeah,
the
that would
moment, I don't have the time, so that's why I'm looking for, you know, digital painters to work
Painters.
over our line work.
Yeah, understandable.
Well, Ink Spots is knocking it out of the park for you. It looks awesome.
You did a great job on that, yeah.
Yeah. We are
How did
at
that come
the
about, Russ? How did you kind of
Oh, go
get
ahead.
hooked up with Ink Spots on that for that?
Oh, Ink Spots did me some work ages ago on Only Death Could Save Us.
Okay, all right.
Are you eating your lunch, Russ?
Sorry.
That's all right. It all adds to the
That
transparency.
is, you know, he's been taking lessons, and I mean, he's really hungry to improve his coloring ability, and he works traditional, you know, on Frog G. He did some traditional Frog G painting, acrylic paintings, and he's really leveling up as a
Yeah, I mean
colorist.
his skill level for the painting is and his execution is excellent. Yeah.
Mhm.
So I've stopped munching now. I didn't realise I had
You're
I
fine.
had a rather
Don't worry
lovely.
about it.
I just had a biscuit with my tea, and I
Mhm.
didn't realise it was so crunchy.
No,
So sorry.
Nobody wasn't crunchy. It was your voice.
Oh,
was,
me nom, 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 what
Yeah.
else?
Oh no, I can hear the crunching. Yeah, but
I've got some film of me colouring Hatch. Maybe I should post that. And we could all.
Yeah, definitely.
absolutely should. Yeah.
I mean, we have a channel. We have an Arrow channel, don't we, on YouTube?
Yeah, there is, but it's not very populated. Yeah.
Well, give me your film, mate. I'll put it up on the Comic Book Black Belt channel.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah.
You know
I'll
what
just
we
put it up
should
on there and
do?
say, you know, guest artist Glenn. This is how he does stuff, because I'll just put it up on there.
Brilliant. Yeah. I'll sort it out.
What
Thank
we
you.
should do is incorporate it into that episode where we show how we work.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
as well. Yeah.
Just to, you know,
Yeah.
just call it how we work, you know.
I've got a couple of hours of it, so I edit it down or whatever.
Yeah. Edit it
Yeah,
down,
just
send it to me as an MP4.
and then we can speed it
file.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would
Yeah.
be fun. We could put
All
Benny Hill
these
music behind it.
black backgrounds, of course, it fills it in, but it's still minimalistic in its approach, isn't it?
Is that black background on the right hand page, or is that a color?
That is a color. It's a bad purple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's that shitty brown again, isn't it?
It's kind of a brownish purple looking thing. It looks brown over the camera. It looks purple when I look at it and here.
And look at the detail on
page.
the crabby guy, whatever he is. But look at the detail, and it's all being lost because of the colouring.
Yeah.
Again,
It is lovely though.
what great shadows.
I really
sleeve.
wish she'd have done something slightly different with that thong. It's quite distracting.
Yes.
He could have just given him pants. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, we could. Yeah.
Could have given him a nice pair of Y fronts.
He could have given him pants instead of drawing pants. If you understand what I mean.
It's like sumo wrestler garb. That's all.
Yeah.
Yeah. We are at the hour and 40 mark. Should we call it here since we're at a chapter?
Yeah.
Yeah.
More next week, folks. We're about, I think we're a little more than halfway through the book. Yeah, we're about two-thirds of the way through the book.
Blimey, I didn't really realize how thick it was.
And there's 2 more volumes after this. As the story goes on.
I'm disappointed.
Get out of town.
The way the artwork is, something's not right.
Well, again, I think it's the Deadly Deadline Doom and the fact that Moebius is here playing with style and form. And again, the bad coloring is from the washed out muddy colorings from the printing. You know, when he originally colored this, I don't know if he meant it to be on shiny white paper.
Yeah.
It does make a big difference.
There are spots that shine, though. Do you know what I mean? So on this spread, if you look at the top left-hand side, that middle panel where he's looking down, that's a great panel. Look his face and the comedy in the beast over his shoulder. And again, that beast over his shoulder now looks like a Moebius. It doesn't look comedic. It is comedic, but it doesn't look like the other illustrations of it. And then underneath that crab creature, the detail, the way that is, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
And these are standout moments from, and there's quite a few of them, but there's also some really either weird decisions or, like you say, you know, the Deadline Doom spiral, or somebody else being involved, a junior artist being involved. Something's going on. It actually makes it incredibly interesting to look at.
Yeah, I seem to remember reading in his notes that are here, because he's got little front and back after notes on this, that he was crushed a lot of times on Deadline. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Randy,
I'll go back through and reread those and
just look at
the
front of the book and see who's coloured this chapter 2. Because I don't think it's Moebius. It tells you right at the beginning. Chapter 2. Does it say it? The dark INCAL, the bright INCAL. Yeah. Isabel.
Yeah, different people.
Isabel, can't say that. Beaumenet Jaunet.
Yeah.
And Yves Chalon. So
there's lots of different people involved.
The dark INCAL. Yeah.
Yeah. Lots of different people. I mean, just there, where you've got your hand, you've got like where we are in the book at the moment. You flicked just back to the front, like the first spread. Look how different that looks.
Yeah,
it does.
That's right.
It's got a completely different feel to it than to the stuff we're looking at right now in the back.
Yeah, but artistically, it's supposed to, though, as well, because he's in a different place, you know?
Yeah, but still. And some of this in the middle here, you know, where I said it looked like Farscape. Some of that had a kind of... It was edging towards blueberry territory.
Yeah.
So there's this really weird sort of wave of up and down and in and out of the style throughout the whole of this book. Whatever your thoughts on it, it makes it an incredibly interesting thing to go through, and to make observations on. It's brilliant.
It pushes me towards wanting to go back to drugs.
It's making me want you to go back to drugs as well.
Headspace.
Folks,
Brilliant.
more INCAL next week.
Oh, is that a cutout in the back cover? Is that a window in the back cover?
No.
Oh. I thought,
it does look like it, though, doesn't it? With the little drop shadow there.
A little bit of 90s book fun there. But,
could you imagine the cost of doing that?
Yeah, huge.
Making a die for that. It wouldn't be worth it, would it?
It's hard enough putting an emboss on the front.
Yeah. It's like the Thimble Theater books that Fantagraphics did in hardcover had a cutout a word balloon that was cut into the cover.
Again, look at that style on the front there. I mean, it's obviously from a smaller panel, but
Yeah, it's Moebius,
Yeah.
though, isn't it?
yeah,
Yes.
undeniably.
Marvi says, I had this in mind for a long time, but you have to do your own stuff. But you have your own stuff to do. But it would be awesome to see videos of your process. That would bring more subs and views, especially with shorts. Just do it. Yeah, thanks, Marv.
Yeah, I'll get onto it after I've done the next 50 pages.
I think he hammered out that fast. It feels so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. More INCAL next week, folks. Really glad you were here. A lot to enjoy this work with us as we look it over and examine Moebius's work. Deeply appreciate you being here. And we'll pick this up again next week, 5 a.m. Eastern time. Rex, tell folks how they can find you.
Asleep.
First thing
Russ,
you do is put snowshoes on.
Okay. Yeah, put
I know,
snowshoes
right?
on.
It's looking wider than I am. Anyway, I'm on YouTube daily on the 4 o'clock shadow. Hopefully you guys come in and visit me sometime, say hi, talk collectibles, comics, things like that,
Yeah.
crowdfunding, projects up on, I'm on X, I'm on YouTube, all the social media, but you can find my projects on Indiegogo and currently on Fund My Comic.
FundMyComic.com, folks. Yep. Under Devil Flyer.
Like my Galactus lunchbox? Oh, yes.
I thought that looked like the High Evolutionary there in a box.
It's not going to be a lot of lunch in it for Galactus, though, is it? I mean, he eats planets.
No, but it's got a Silver Surface thermos. Kirby Crack.
Yeah.
Cool.
Power Cosmic in a flask.
Had to have it.
There you are.
Mm-hmm.
Russ, tell folks how they can find you.
Yeah, you can find me at russleach.com. Sign up for the email list there so you can find out more about the Atlantean, our series that is out right now. Issue 2 out in March. Check it out. Go find russleach.com and sign up for that email list. You want to get me on any of the other social medias? They're all there over at russleach.com.
Had a great review of that on YouTube too by that guy.
Brewskis.
Site Brewskis.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, it was a lovely review. Yeah, just whipped through it and said, I didn't want to give it away, but he did a good review.
Yeah. Glenn, tell folks how they can find you.
You can find me on this program on Friday mornings. I'm on Randy's show on Sunday. He'll give you the details of that. If you go to Amazon, you can find a lot of my work on there. But if you just put my name in Google, something will come up. If you go to Fund My Comic, you'll be able to get yourself a copy of this. It shows you, as we were just talking about the process, shows you how I work and get the process going. It's just put my name in Google and you'll find me.
Yeah. Says Marv says, have a great weekend. I'll see you Sunday.
See you, Marv.
Says CS Films.
Holy Mountain.
Holy Mountain. Yeah, Fendo.
The Golden Turd. I know what you're talking about.
And his other films, the psycho magic stuffs. Yeah, Double Flyers. They're smiling. And HR says, and comics. Yep. Folks, I've been your host, Randy Zimmerman. You can find my work around Arrow Comics. You can look me up on Amazon. I've got a few books up there, like War of the Worlds, Infestation, The Shadow Kingdom is up there as well. The Atlantean one is there also, and look for the Atlantean 2 on Fund My Comics starting in March. It's a very fast-paced story I'm really proud of. We incorporated a short story that Charles Santino plotted and made a cohesive plot that Russ is currently drawing. having fun with. Issue 3 is in the plotting stage, and that'll be that book will be a nice change of pace of from what 1 and 2 are. And issue 4 will be adapting another Robert E. Howard story into it. We'll be incorporating that into the story as well. I've already figured out how to do that.
I can show you page in progress now if you want.
Yeah.
Sure.
Sure.
There you go. So this is just the sketch work before I take it to inks.
There we are.
There you go.
Ooh.
Rawr! We got a monster.
Still
There
with
we
that
are.
woman.
Sorry.
Still with that woman.
Oh yeah. She's got her part to play. So there's a good fight in this. So there you go. But they're the pencils. I just put them together and then I print them out and I put them on a light box and I brush traditionally. So there you go.
What would a good sword and sorcery story be without a good woman in it?
Oh, there's plenty of wenching in issue 2.
All good. Good and bad.
Conan had a bar scene long before Star Wars.
Oh yeah.
Everything.
Yeah,
had something
you
before
think about
Star
it back
Wars.
then, how many bar scenes were there? Like Conan bar scenes. There were bar scenes with Hercules and Thor. It's like brilliant stuff. Gotta
A
love it.
page that is burned into my memory is Barry Windsor Smith, Conan, I think not 25, very early on, where Red Sonja is introduced and she's dancing on
That's
a
right.
table.
Yeah.
Just a great.
The first the first episode, isn't it? The first story in the magazine, which was done, the Savage Sword of Conan magazine, rather than the comic, was the Curse of the Undead Man. This one,
Hang on, loan you up. There you are.
yeah, that one, and
Yeah.
this is one of my favorites. Is Pablo Marcos. This is one of my favorites, and like what Buscema was doing here with the way everybody's like hanging out and the anatomy, the ladies, and then you've got the slightly older lady later on who's not very happy about things, and she calls in the guards. This is such a great panel. This panel here, what a panel. And his face here as well, just superb stuff. And Pablo Marcos had such a light touch on the inks, like really, really, really nice. As much as I love Alcala and Chan and Choa, Pablo Marcos, pretty damn good. So there you go.
Folks,
So I just got a bit excited about that. I just love those things.
It's all good. It's all good. That's why we do these shows, is to talk about the stuff that inspires us and the great sequential artwork out there. And folks, we'll be back on Sunday to take a look at Mars Patrol by the great Wally Wood. It's Marines, it's aliens, it's a lot of fun. Old Gold Key book that Dark Horse in their smartness decided to put together into a volume.
Just show that cover. Enlarge the cover there.
Yeah.
Because I'll tell you what's funny about that for me is the way that the guy at the top, I don't know what year it's supposed to be, but he's got a Thompson and the guy underneath's got a BAR. And he's got a Vickers machine gun or something. You know, they've got those round drums on, like gangster Thompsons. What year is it set in?
It's weird, isn't it?
Is it supposed to be in the future?
I don't know. I think it's in the slight future,
Mashup
but not
future.
very far. Yeah.
I think Mars came out in 1964, 63, somewhere in there.
Around in there, yeah.
65.
Doesn't give a year here at the main introduction. So I'd imagine they're trying to be modern.
Yeah.
Just
makes me
everybody
laugh.
grabs a
It's
grabs
in
a
the
weapon
future.
of choice. Go ahead, Rex.
I was just going to say it's in the future, but it may be, sort of a mashup of different things from the past thrown in there.
Folks, again, thanks a lot for stopping by. We do this because we love it. We're not monetized. We don't ask you for whatever tips or
Money.
whatever. money.
we don't ask you
we
for
might do that at one point or another. We're not here.
We
to
only
sell
ask you for
anything.
money for books that we produce.
Yeah.
Everything else is free.
we tell you where you can find our work so that you can see how much we appreciate the stuff that we're showing you. And if you want to help us out, please buy our products, buy our books. Go to the GoFundMe, not GoFundMe, excuse me, fundmycomic.com, and take a look at the wide variety of campaigns that are over there by a wide variety of people, I might add, and some more crazy campaigns are on the way over there. So keep coming back. You got a chicken, Rex? Is that what it is?
I got chicken.
Pull up my chicken.
Have
collection.
you been choking at the whole show?
He's been choking it the entire show.
Oh, Russ, do better, will you?
Yeah.
It means you're a catcher, not a pitcher.
Put
If
it
I
right
did-
in here.
Shocked.
Folks, thanks again for stopping by. If you like this program, recommend it to your friends. I hit that like button, love button, any type of, even a hate button. If you got to do a thumbs down on us, just do it. Anything, interaction that you have with us helps our algorithm and helps us go out to be seen by more people. And that's the honestly, it doesn't cost you anything. It's the least you can do. Hit that like button up there and tell your friends about this program. We are here every Friday morning, 5 a.m. Eastern time, 4 a.m. Eastern time if you're Rex, 10 in the morning if you're Glenn and Russ. I believe it's 10 or 11 over there. 10. Again, we do this because we love it. If you get a chance, go visit your local retailer. There's so much negativity out there online, and so much trolling going on, and comics are so great. And we're here because we love this industry. Well, maybe not the industry per se, but we love the art form, and we love working in this form of communication. And we hope you feel the same way. If you've got great comics out there and you're the current material, especially from corporate comics, puts a bad taste in your mouth, go back and read the old stuff and remind yourself exactly how great the comics are. Read your favorite comics over and over again. Give comics away as gifts. If you can, wear a little past the holiday season. Valentine's Day's coming up, don't you know? Give your loved one the gift of comics. Anyway, folks, take care. We'll see you on the next one.
Yeah.
We deeply appreciate you being here. We hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. More INCAL next week. Mars Patrol on Sunday. We are archived over at the Comic Book Black Belt YouTube channel, the Randy Zim YouTube channel, and please like and subscribe over there as well. But also the Indie Comics Network has us archived there. So go over and look at the wide variety of material that we've looked at in the past. There's so much more to look at and so much more to come. We're really glad you're here, and we hope to see you again very soon.
Danya.
We hope you see us again very soon. So take care, everybody. We'll see you Sunday, hopefully.
Sometime.
What was that? This is not a charade. We need total concentration. Now, once again, this time, with theory.
Some men just want to watch the world burn.
Can't nobody tell me nothing.
How dare you?
Get off my lawn.
Thank you notes. And I was just running a bit.
Joke's on you, bitch. I love this shit.
Oh, you silly, simple bastard.
Flintstones naked. There's a market for that.
If you look at something and there's nothing there, what's the difference of figuring out what it was in the first place?
Taste the biscuit. Taste the goodness of the biscuit.